This will be the presentation part of monthly meeting. Jim, you're up.
Okay, good morning, everybody. And I hope everyone's doing well and getting ready to get on the air. There are a variety of different things going on. The main thing we're going to talk about today is going to be the Nevada QSO Party. But before we go ahead, I want to bring up some other things here. And we will start with what's happening today. The California QSO Party is the big one for today. We've got, it starts at 9 o'clock, about the end of the meeting. And there's 58 counties in California, and they all would like to hear from you. And this is going to be on HF and in single sideband and CW modes only. The top out of staters, the top 20 end up with a bottle of wine, and that's a pretty good little prize. Basically, you can find out about a lot of these by going to the WA7BNM contest calendar, and it shows the ones for the month. Here's the California, and then coming down here, we come to the real biggie, which is the Nevada QSO Party. Brings up telling what we can do, various items and that. And it also ends up with a link to our operation. And let's see here, where do I have? I'll just click on it instead. Which brings us up to the rules, and we'll go to the main startup page here. Okay, the next weekend is the Nevada QSO Party. This is one of the big ones of the year for us. And we've had great participation growth and that. Last year we had over 100 hams in Nevada get on the air for this. And that's up substantially from what we've had in the past. We had 250 logs approximately sent in. And that also was way up from what we've ever had in the past. A little history on this: back in the old days, the previous version of the QSO Party actually died of old age because of the fact that last contest only had 4 people in Nevada participate. So we've come a long ways, and we got to thank everyone who has gotten on. We have a number of things in it that are a little different from other contests. We have a very robust handling of FT8 and FT4 contacts. Nevada's been a leader in this area. And we also allow the use of repeaters. We get a little static about that from some of the old time contesters, but the repeaters are there to get the 58.7% or 48.7% of the hams in the United States that are technicians and really can't get up and participate on the HF bands. We were coming out of a period when 10 meters just wasn't there. And most of the new technicians, lion's share of them, have no idea what CW is, much less know how to do it. So they've kind of been kept out of a lot of these other contests. So we decided to go ahead and provide them a pathway to have the fun with us. And it's been actually fairly successful. Some of the things that the outsiders who don't do it are criticizing the fact, oh, you're going to monopolize the repeaters. Well, that hasn't happened. We've had very good usage. We haven't had interference with nets or anything. So it's a good way to get it in if you've never done any contesting get on the air. And that we hope you'll keep a log. And that's one of the key things learning about contests is learning how to log. Excuse me. There's in the old days, and a few of the old timers I remember, that you had to log every contact. You'd get on in the morning to talk to your friends, and you had to log it down and who you talked to and all that. And you had to keep those logs for a number of years. So if the FCC came in, you could show that, yes, on Thursday morning in 1934, you actually talked to a station on the East Coast for 10 minutes. Well, they did away with that sort of requirement, and the art of logging is seemed to have gone away. Here recently, we've been able to use computers, and that has made a world of difference in keeping logs. A lot of the HF operators nowadays keep a log on that, and it's real easy with a couple of keystrokes. They add the call sign of the person you're talking to. You can add their name and a whole bunch of other things, and use a general purpose logger, and you've got a permanent record of that contact. Well, contests, basically require that you keep a log to send in, and that. Now, if you just want to get on casually and make a couple of contacts and don't want to do a log, go ahead and do it. The more the merrier, and it's the key thing on getting people involved. There's we had a lot of people on the repeaters last year that just hopped in, made a couple of contacts, and and it really helped a lot of the other people who were actually getting serious about it. So logging is a key thing. Computer logging really is the way to go. There's a free program, absolutely 100% free, and that's called N1MM, November 1, Mike, and you can just Google that, and it'll bring you up to a download page, and that it's an absolutely free program. It is used by about 75% of the active contesters around the world, and it is really a pretty amazing program. It can be as complex as you want or as simple. You can just have a simple entry box where you just type the call sign and the exchange, and away you go, and hit the enter button, of course, to save it. And that we'll talk a little more about that a little later here in the morning, but it's absolutely free, and it runs on Windows platforms, and the best. They have, there's been some attempts to get it on Linux and the Apple operating systems, but it's primarily a Windows program. Anyway, after we get on there and get logged, the contest will run from 8 o'clock local time on Friday night, the 8th, and it'll run until 2 in the afternoon on the 10th, Sunday the 10th. And we'll be on basically all the standard bands. That would be 160, 80, 40, 20, 15, 10, and then of course the VHF bands. The WARC bands, like 10 megahertz, 30 meters. They're ones up on 5 megahertz there, the 60 meter, 12, 17. Those ones are left free of contesting, so everybody else who doesn't want to contest has a place to go and won't be bothered. So those bands are not used for the contest. Our main objective of this contest is to activate and work all 17 of the counties. Now, Nevada stations are in a really great position because we work everybody, anyone in the world. And that's a lot of fun. Yes, we do get multipliers for working the counties in Nevada, but there's 17 of those that you can possibly get. However, there's 84 ARRL or RAC, Radio Amateurs Canada, sections that can be picked up also. And these are multipliers, and they really add to your score. We also do it per band. So if you can hit all of them there on 20 meters, you can move to 15 meters and get all those multipliers again, and so on and so forth. And you can get a pretty good multiplier pileup. Now, for you new to contesting, multipliers are just that. They multiply the number of contacts you've made. So if you make 100 contacts and you have 30 multipliers, your score is now 3,000 points. And it adds up pretty quickly. With the N1MM program, there's a little, it shows the score there on the bottom of the entry window where you type in your call sign, and you'll see that number at the bottom start getting bigger and bigger and bigger as more contacts are added. In that. The VHF bands, which is everything above 50 megahertz that we have privileges on, we just count one contact, no matter what the mode, per station. We had to do this especially with the repeaters. It would be a scoring nightmare to handle. For instance, on our system, somebody comes in there from Fallon or Yarrington, comes in on the Lobdell repeater, which is a UHF repeater. And so they would put the report down showing that they were on UHF there on 70 centimeters. And you're in the meantime talking on the P-Vine repeater, which is on VHF there at 147.21. The scoring programs look at that and they say, oh, frequency isn't right, so we'll throw this one out. So that's why we've set it up so that all VHF contacts are only once with a person, and we consider them all to be actually on 2 meters. We have a little program we run and changes everything to 2 meters for those VHF contacts. As they say, we can use repeaters, we can use satellites, we can use moon bounce, meteor scatter, tropical ducting across to Hawaii, any of these sort of modes that are fun on VHF, including getting up on top of mountaintops. And for those of you who've never been on a mountaintop with a radio, it's a whole new world out there. You'll be surprised. I've actually talked from Pennsylvania Hill, which is in the very northern part of Elko County, almost up on the Idaho border, into St. George, Utah on 2 meters. And there's no repeaters, just talking across. On 6 meters, I've hit Japan, the islands in the Caribbean, down into South America. I haven't made Europe yet, but it's coming. And we're on the rising part of the sunspot cycle, and this sort of propagation will be a lot better. So 6 meters, which everybody has access to with your license, can be a fun one too, to pick up a bunch of contacts. The as I say, we're one of the few that allow repeaters, and you can get on there. If you got DMR, you can go to the international talk rooms there and proceed to pick up a bunch of foreign stations. DX stations are perfectly allowable in your log, and we allow 20 different multipliers for foreign stations and that. So if you talk to 20 different countries, any other ones beyond that, we allow the points for the QSO for being able to talk to them, but we don't give multipliers beyond 20 on each band. You can get on D-Star. It also has the same sort of capabilities, talking out of the area, fusion, and P25, I think, has some things set up that way. So all those digital modes can get you opportunity to talk out of the area. Our biggest resource is our linked repeater system. Last year, where there was a station down in the Central Valley of California that was getting into the Mount Rose repeater solid, and he was the highest low power score in the out of state operation, and got a trophy in that. And he had a lot of fun talking to a lot of people. The fellow involved used to be a member of the Elko Club, one of the founding members actually, and was able to talk to a whole lot of people around northern Nevada, and had a really great time, besides getting on some HF contacts and adding in there. So the repeater operation, which is unique to this contest for the state QSO parties, really can add to it. It's a great opportunity for new hams to get involved. You'll learn how to make the contacts. You'll learn how to explain what this whole contest is about, because most of the people outside of the area don't know. And you can explain that this is the Nevada QSO Party, and yes, you're operating from Washoe, from here in Reno, and Reno is not a suburb of Las Vegas. You'll get asked, do you go down to Las Vegas much, and that sort of thing, and a chance to talk to a lot of folks. So it's one area we're trying to stress and get more of the technicians and that out there involved, and learn a little bit about contesting. It is kind of addicting. We have found that the people in the past that have started on this VHF part of the contest have gone ahead and upgraded their license, and they're getting on HF now, and getting out and having fun. You can operate from anywhere in Nevada as a Nevada station, and that includes doing it at home. There are a bunch of us that are going to go out in the field and run around. We'd like to do that and get out in the rural counties where we don't have as much participation. But making contacts from home is just as important. Say back in the old days when it died, with only 4 Nevada stations running, that was the big complaint from the out-of-staters, that there just was nobody to talk to. The last couple of years, we haven't had that problem at all. People have been real happy with how much participation they're seeing, the out-of-staters are seeing from the stations here in Nevada. And so the more the merrier in that. It'd be a pretty good competition among people here in the Washoe County area to continue on and among themselves here to see who takes Washoe County, and that. There still are a bunch of rural counties that are needing some due. We have an activation list where you can go and sign up for your county and whether you're mobile or fixed. And we have a great little map here, and it shows the how many people have signed up for various areas so far. We still are waiting on Esmeralda and Lincoln County. They're usually filled out of Clark, and that or Nye. And hopefully we'll get a couple of people on here in the next week. I think I know a fellow in Esmeralda that's going to be on. Lincoln, we're still working on, and hopefully Tony down there in the south can convince people to actually sign up and not just show up on the day. This the out-of-staters look at this and they want to see actually a lot bigger numbers in a lot of these places. We're doing great here in Washoe, but we're tied with Lander now, which is very good. That's came up overnight. Lyon County has good participation. Carson City and Douglas really could use some more help in that. Humboldt and Pershing are a problem. This year, rather than just operating in Pershing the entire time, I'm going mobile. I'm actually running an open expedition because I'll be setting up antennas when I arrive at these sites. And I'll start up here on the Pershing Humboldt line and on Friday. And I'll work into early Saturday morning. I'll then motor on across the state, come over here to the Lander Eureka line and work on that line. And till probably dark, that, and then I will drive down here onto the White Pine Elko line and finish up overnight and into Sunday down here in this area. One advantage of being on a county line is I get to give out 2 contacts at once. So I'll say, somebody calls me, I've gone CQ, 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 they'll come back. W6US, this is W1AW. I go, W1AW, please copy 59, November Victor, Hotel Uniform Mike, / Papa Echo Romeo. So I've given him 2 counties, Humboldt and Pershing. He'll come back and say, copy, this is W1AW in Connecticut, CT. I go, thank you for the contact, yours Ed, and I move on. So I've just made 2 contacts really with making 1. We have a fellow that is going to activate this little spot down here, the Story, Lyon, Carson City, and Washoe 4-corner spot. So he'll be giving out 4 contacts at once. And that's good. We have people that are going to be out here on the Churchill Lander Nye corner. There's going to be a Eureka White Pine operation. And there'll probably be a few other county line ones popping up. And this is great, as I say, they'll give out 2 to 4 contacts at a time, and you can really jump your score. And of course, their score goes up very well too. Getting out and working in a remote county, in a remote spot, could be a lot of fun. It's like field day that you're just by yourself or with a couple of close friends if you're putting a multi-operator station together. And it's a lot of fun to get out in these areas where we don't have a lot of hams operating and that. I'd like to see a couple more people get up here into Humboldt and Pershing. Now there's on HF, we've got 3 different modes. We've got the voice mode, single sideband primarily. We have CW, and most of these rural counties are definitely short on CW operators. And then we have FT8. They're in FT4, the WSJTX programs. We've done a lot of work on that, and let's see here, counties. What we've done is we've assigned each county a special number. And we've also done it for, come on, there we go. All the county line operations. So we've got a 2 counties, say Clark, Lincoln. You're sitting within 500 feet of the county line, and you have to be within 500 feet. And away you go. You can give out a number like 3B for Clark, Lincoln, or 13B for Elko, Eureka, Lander. That's kind of an interesting site. It's in order to get within 500 feet, you're on some pretty interesting dirt roads to get to there. Some of them are a lot easier. The 4 county location, for those of you who've tried to go up to McClellan from Carson City on Goni Road, we have discovered that Goni Road is probably one of the rougher 4-wheel drive roads in the state. It's a problem for a lot of the techs who have to go up and technicians who have to go up and work on all those repeaters up there. That's an ugly road. But anyway, there's lots of spots you can get to fairly easily, like the Churchill Lion line, or which one was it? Correction here. Lion Mineral. There we are, Lion Mineral. Actually, if you're on 95 alternate, you're right on top of the hill there, coming out of Yerington, headed over to Schurz. That's a good little spot. I think someone's already talking about setting up one there. Some of them are on the highway, and that right along the highway. We really recommend you get off the interstate and don't actually try to park on the side of the interstate unless there's a major pullout that you can get into and set up on. Usually there's a frontage road that you can cut back and find the position. The county line there on the Humboldt-Pershing line has that situation there west of Rose Creek. We're all set up. Come in on the frontage road, and there's a great spot that's level, and you got a great view east and west, particularly Rose Peaks to the south. But as far as getting out of the area, that plus I can hit both the I can hit the Winnemucca repeater there, and even the Toulon repeater. So, you know, finding these good spots, Google Earth is your friend and a good way to get out there and do it. And usually the weather's good that weekend. Long range forecast, it may be some showers, but they probably are not going to be real heavy, and just enough maybe to settle the dust. So it looks like a good weekend coming up to get out there and enjoy it. We're starting to see some fall colors out here in the rural areas, and a good opportunity to get out and take one last run out in the country before winter sets in. Anyway, that's let's see, let's go back here. The rules are pretty well spelled out. We have lots of different classes, and this pays off in the fact that we hand out lots and lots and lots of different certificates. We take a look here at the Nevada winners and that, but you get down some of them in the counties, you know, here's a fellow that took first place, low power voice in Mineral County. He had 2 points, and he got a nice first place certificate. We try to do this, and with all these different mix-ups, you notice we're mostly first or seconds. There's a couple of thirds down here, but a lot of first place certificates. Now we tend to print the first place and your call sign big on the certificates, and the score is down in a littler number, and hung up on the wall, you got to kind of squint and look hard to see what the actual score is, but you can read the first place there very easily across the room. So there's lots of different things that you can go for, and it's a good operations. The really top scores were like at the top here, K2RD had high score overall Nevada last year. And I'm going to stop sharing here for a second so I can go back to my main screen. And we pass out very nice looking little trophies like this. I know Howie's got one last year for CW. And let's see who else is on here. I think you're the only ones who are on here. But they're very nice. They're wood. I make these up for the contest on laser engraver and that. So it's an opportunity to end up with one of these to hang on the wall here in your Radio Shack. And a lot of folks like to collect these things, and it's just a lot of fun. So there's a lot of opportunities to win one. And then when we get out of state, virtually everybody gets either first or second. Indiana, we had a lot of folks from Indiana come in. So we ended up going down clear to the fourth place. But even still, that's doing it. And in the past, a lot of these scores for the out-of-staters were in the 2, 4, 6 area. But we're starting to see a whole lot more with at least 3-digit numbers. And the top winner out of state was from, I know he has a 6 call, but he was actually in New Jersey. And he broke the 1,000 point mark along with high power out of state. Oh, correction, MU was in California. New Jersey was down here on high power mixed, and these two folks broke 1,000, which was a whole lot better than what we've seen in the past. But again, there's lots of good scores showing up, a lot of interest. We keep rolling down the list here of out-of-staters that got it. We had one fellow made several contacts from Slovenia in Eastern Europe in the contest. He took the international division. And, these folks are all pretty happy about the fact we're getting a good number of participation here in the state. And that's the key thing there. We also have a set of FAQs, frequently asked questions, and it's a good thing to read through these. These clarify some of the rules and make it easier to know what's going on. Here's the one, for instance, on the 2-county one, how to log it, and 59 WAS, NVWAS/NVCAR for the Washoe County, Clark County line. And then you could just put it into N1MM as NVWAS/NVCAR. Some of the logging software out there won't handle this type of combined. You have to enter it as two different QSOs for some of those out-of-staters, or even in-staters if you're not using N1MM. That'll be different. The one thing that's really important is that we're using the ARRL RAC sections, not states. And that. So somebody came back with 59 California, you'll have to ask him what his ARRL section is. And quite often they don't know that real well. And you can go to the ARRL website and find the listing of what the sections are in these various states that have the multiple sections. California has 9 sections, and there could be like SV for Sacramento Valley, which would be Truckee, actually is in Sacramento Valley and Susanville. San Joaquin Valley, Santa Clara Valley, Los Angeles LAX, San Diego, STG, Santa Barbara SB. Anyway, these are some of the various sections in California. So that Texas has got South Texas, North Texas. Florida has South Florida, Central Florida, and Northern Florida. So you'll have these. The same time we're running our contest, Pennsylvania is running theirs. And Pennsylvania, they'll be giving out counties and that. And if nothing else, drop the Pennsylvania list of counties. That way you can change the county to be the either Eastern PA or Western PA breaks. A lot of those folks, because they're trying to be heavy duty contesters in that contest, find that you get annoyed at the fact we want to know what their section is rather than just their serial number and their county. Most of them won't even give the 3-letter or 4-letter abbreviation of their county. So it's a little tough. We're requiring really that everybody give the NVWAS or NVCAR, the full 5-letter abbreviation. A lot of people don't know how to spell Eureka or Esmeralda or know what the one is for white pine. It's not WP, it's WHI for the first 3 letters of white pine and that. So by giving out that the NV lets them know you're talking to the Nevada QSO Party, and the 3-letter abbreviation gets them in the right county. And that's a real helpful thing. Having worked in so far well over 30 state QSO parties this year, so a lot of the folks in those parties are just giving out the county name and not the abbreviations, and you have to ask for it. And we're just trying to make it easier on everybody out of state. I mean, I can name all 17 counties here in Nevada and actually know what the abbreviation is on all of them. But most people have never heard of Esmeralda County. They might have a clue about Mineral County. They probably want to call it Las Vegas County, but it's actually Clark County. So it's best to give out the 5-letter abbreviation, and it avoids the confusion. In that. Let's see here. What else do we got going on this? So far, we've never had anybody work all 17 counties. Quite frankly, the person who has the best chance of this is somebody who takes a good handheld, hikes to the top of Toyobe Dome, the Arc Dome, or actually the Arc Dome, yeah, they're in the Toyobe Range, south of Austin, gets up on top there and has a little portable Yagi, like an arrow antenna, and can point that around because they can hit virtually every mountaintop repeater in the entire state from that location. And that's somebody who does that is going to get the 17. We haven't come up with a good award for that yet, but be assured that we will do it. It's located approximately right here where the 4 is, in the Lander County shot. That's where the Arc Dome is. It's a beautiful view up there. I've been up there once. It's an interesting hike. It's in a wilderness area, but the view is just phenomenal. You can see Wheeler Peak over here in the Great Basin National Park. You can see the Sierras here in California. You can see down into southern Nevada, and that you can see the mountains up here on the Idaho Nevada border, and you can see Mount Shasta here in Northern California. So it's a tremendous view from up there if you get a clear day. And say somebody with a handheld could, on the VHF, could pick up all 17 counties from that location. And well worth the hike. Besides that, you'll probably pick up a whole lot more other contacts and just have a lot of fun. There again, getting out in the field is a fun activity, but don't overlook playing from home. We need more folks getting on the air there at home with their good antennas and even high power, and making contacts around the world, putting Nevada on the map. And that anyway, hopefully we'll see everyone out there. The more the merrier. Other hams that aren't here today, let them know. It's been in the newsletter. We've sent out emails to past participants, and trying to get more people involved. So I hope we catch everybody on the air. As I say, I'll be operating a mobile expedition from the Humboldt Pershing, the Lander Eureka, and the Elko White Pine. And hopefully we'll make sure that this whole northern part of the state gets good contact. So again, we'd like to see more people in Carson and Douglas. And hopefully we can get the Lincoln Esmeralda totals up here a little bit to get some more people in. Anyway, have fun, and I will see you guys on the air. Back to net control there, Doug.
All right. Thank you, Jim. I've got to sign up, but I plan to be on that weekend. So I'm going to stop the recording now, and I'm going to restart the recording. What happened to it? There it goes.